Those of you who said there was no problem, those of you who said Southern Cameroonians don't have any issue, those of you who said Cameroon was one and indivisible, those of you who make blah, 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 I want you to watch the video. Watch the video. This is from the horse's mouth. It's from the horse's mouth. And it's from Foncha, John Woo Foncha. I want you to watch this video. I'll be right back. This is part one. Now, part one is just watch the video at the come back.
Now, this Prime Minister of the Southern Cameroon, under the using the two alternatives, he had administrative authority, he had the economic development in his own hands, and of course, security in general was going to be a matter for which could be discussed, you see, to make it both for the federal government, or what we call concurrent. That is to say, the Prime Minister of the Southern Cameroon was going to be in charge of the police, and the army could be national, territorial. We didn't think of the gendarme to be extended in the Southern Cameroon for any reason. It was because when there was no constitution, that he managed to send the gendarme in the Southern Cameroon, and gradually now posting all these there, his obedient troops, that is obedient civil servants, and they can do anything. They are protected by him, so anything could happen.
When did the gendarmes come into West Cameroon? Into Southern Cameroon?
Let's say as soon as the British troops left. You know, the British trained a mobile wing, with not many at all. So the gendarme came to help the mobile wing and to man some of the places. And when they came, the mobile wing was holding some part of the stations, and they were holding other parts. But they despised the mobile wing, whereas the mobile wing also despised them, because they had no form of military maneuver as they. Most of the terrorists were captured by the mobile wing, Southern Cameroon mobile wing. They combed the frontiers of the Mongo, Santa, and brought out some of the terrorists who were happening there. And of course, it was the Nigerian, from Nigeria, I mean the Nigerian forces which left Nigeria. People, general like General Tato and others, who really did the combing of the frontier without killing. They didn't kill the terrorists. They rounded them up, used them to find out where the others were, treated them well, and then bring peace. The Southern the Southern Cameroon had nothing to administer with the taking over of the, or with the dissolution of the National Assembly and the House of Chiefs and everything. There was no authority in the Southern Cameroon. That's what is called annexation. annexation went much further, that anything that existed in the Southern Cameroon was not allowed to remain under that name. First, the Cameroon Bank, which had outgrown other banks in La Republic, was the source of income by people from Douala, Kongsamba, and all these other places who want money for trading. Before that time, before 1970 something, before 1970 something, no bank in La Republic could borrow money, give a loan up to 1 million. If you want a loan up to beyond the 500,000, you have to fly to France. Only France will approve it. But the Cameroon Bank had risen to loan money to 5 million. So traders in Douala and along the Mango and furthermore were able to get enough loan. That was not so good for Aejo. That was why then everything, Southern Cameroon must fall. We organized the development agency to give loans to farmers and so on, to businessmen. And more so, Nanga company was rising up to compete the other companies, the French company. And had in fact built the Prime Minister's office in the Southern Cameroon out of a mere 45 million francs at that time. But a building like that could have cost no less than 150 million. But using the English way of economy and way of organizing labor, Nanga company was able to do it for 45 million. That was a slap on the face of the Republic of Cameroon. It was an indication that the British were going to abolish or more or less lessen the amount of bribes and the money they get from the contracts. And so everything was, by not signing the draft constitution, everything fell in the hands of Aejo. One of the next project which we had was lottery. I sent a team to Israel to train for lottery. They came and established a rapidly growing lottery, and we were getting the money now to build hospitals and clinics. Aejo didn't want the people of his own section to patronize our lottery. The Prime Minister, Sali was a Prime Minister. I negotiated with him, but Aejo did not agree. That the people of the same country. Now I said we were going to share the profits. Aejo did not agree. Then after 1970, then he transferred it. It became central. Now the Youth Day was formed in the Southern Cameroon to commemorate independence for the Southern Cameroon, Independence Day, which was the plebiscite day. Because there was no other greater thing achieved in the Southern Cameroon than by voting so massively for independence and unification. The 11th February is a historic day for the Southern Cameroon, which should be commemorated. That was formed by me and my government of the Southern Cameroon in 1964. Then 1968, well, the East Cameroon were imitating, want to imitate it. So Ahidjo thought it should be centralized, it should be made central. So he centralized it to be also practiced in all parts of the federation. That was 1960, about 1968, 4 years after. But he did not say that it was there. It was it was started in 1968, he said. Imagine, I think, which was being run in the Southern Cameroon since 1954. When he transferred it, he didn't mention the Southern Cameroon. It was originated in 1968 or 1966. It might have been 1966 when he transferred it between these two dates. So Cameroon, Southern Cameroon was tinning coffee, and this coffee was of standard to merit exportation. And as a matter of fact, a good part of it was being exported. In the name of label, the name of Southern Cameroon, CDC. Tea was the same. Ahidjo saw to it that the Santa Coffee Estate was abolished. And so there was no other means of the Southern Cameroon, you see, running, getting its own independent income. So all the income, we must look to Yaoundé as the only father of the federation to do everything. And now, the Prime Minister of the Southern Cameroon was going to be left with no duty. So he has to abolish it. And in the practice of Francophone, and then not French, as we may say, if you are assistant to any post in Yaoundé, you are just there either to get your money and do what the president say, or you might as well resign. Money to keep people in a post was not that difficult. It was obedient to their party and keep as a subordinate.
This one is just part one. This is part one. I'll bring part two to you guys in our subsequent edition. But I just thought it wise to play it here so it can clear the doubt of some of you who are out there thinking that that country you call Cameroon, it came about by some kind of accident or some kind of stuff. It has a track record, and procedures, principles were being violated. People's rights were trampled upon, and that is why we have what we have today. But at the end of the day, the voice of the people will prevail. Yes, that is what we call the dialogue that everybody is yearning for. That was Don Good Foncha talking, speaking, giving his last words before he had to exit this world. May he so rest in peace. And we thank him for his sacrifices. And we pray that the journey which they started by 1990 to restore the independence of Southern Cameroon, we will continue, and we will do that. We will achieve that in this never again generation. That is the reality we are facing today. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope the video was interesting. Don't forget, you can always share it when you watch, and you can as well tell others. You give it a thumbs up, and we will see you again in our next update. I stand here as your humble servant. My name is Fabiano Deco, and thank you for watching.